Hi, everyone. We'll continue where we stopped earlier. So we are going to go over descriptive statistics for our data set. So it is very helpful to report descriptive statistics for your data set. And what would be a good example for a data set is this is one of the papers I shared with you in class several times. So it's very helpful because the reviewers requested me to report descriptive statistics, for example, in Appendix A. For every construct, they wanted me to report the maximum, the minimum, the mean, and the standard deviation for every indicator of my construct, right? And then they wanted me to put also the Likert scale that I have used for every construct and the anchors, which will help actually future researchers when they are replicating your study or they are doing new research of their own, but they want to know how you measured your own measures here or constructs. All right, so to do this, there are several ways you can do it, but one way with this data set, since we have missing values here, the data analysis tool might not work because we have some missing values, and Excel requires us to have no null values. Every cell has to have value, and that will take a lot of time to try to replace with the mean in Excel. So you can do that if you chose to. But before we even do that, let's check for sometimes you might receive surveys that the respondents selected all fives or all fours, and you want to identify those surveys that were answered in that way. So let's see here. So in this case, I need to calculate the standard deviation for those items or questions that use Likert scale. So S standard deviation sample, and then I will select those questions up until maybe here that use Likert scale from strongly agree, strongly disagree, and then I will paste this, and I'll try to now see which row or observation had the least variation. And that will tell me that the respondent didn't pay much attention when they were filling out the survey. So let me go to the home, and then I want to sort from lowest to the highest. So those are the guys, 0. So I have a couple of at least 18. They just selected all numbers. So you see, this is a beautiful way to identify those who selected only all twos, threes, and so on for all the questions as answers. So now I can easily identify and remove those that were not answered in a very careful way. So that means they were not paying attention, or they just did it for the extra credit. So they didn't do it with focus. So maybe my threshold can be here up to this one, standard deviation, and it's up to you to decide what would be your threshold. For me, I will just delete those guys, and I will keep the rest. Just going to double check to see if there is much variation. There is not much. Still can be conservative enough if you want, because there is not much variation. That means I'm not sure if that's true. They answered them with attention or not, but this is just one way to do it if you didn't have an attention question. Okay, let me just be more, let me see how many I have so far. After deleting those, I have 188. So I will just I will keep the rest, but you got the idea. So now I can delete this guy. I don't need this column. All right. Now I cleaned my data. Let's see. Delete those guys as well. It's very low variation. 4, 5, 5. Yeah, at least now somehow some variation there. Okay. Now we need to report descriptive statistics. Usually it is about the indicators that we talked about. You can use pivot tables. So you can insert and then go to insert and then pivot, select the whole data set and say, okay. And, oops, let's see. All right, so now I have my data set. And then you can do it manually. There might be some other ways you can do it faster, but let's say here, this guy here, expectancy 1, and then you can just say the maximum from here, 5, maximum will be here, minimum will be 1, which is obvious. And then you can see what is the average from here. That's the mean. And then you can create your own table similar to the paper here, using create a table in a Word document, and you can report maximum for this expectancy 1. Maximum is 5, minimum is 1. The median is here, or the mean. I mean, the mean would be that number. And then if you want, the standard deviation is also reported for us here. Standard deviation is this number, and you can report it, go from there. So you got the idea. Those are for the constructs, right? Descriptive statistics. Now let's look at the demographics descriptive statistics. So for the demographics, let me go to my data set. I'll just remove this guy, and I will go to the numbers only and see my descriptive statistics here. So I can start from gender, and then age, education, and so on. Let's do gender because it's categorical variable, and we only have categorical variables. In this case, you can report the frequencies and the percentage of the total. So I'll go back to my pivot table. I will bring gender here. That way, oops, don't need expectancy, gender. So I have 3 answers, and then the blank, which means those who didn't answer. So 1 was male, 2 was female, 3 was prefer not to tell, and blank means was blank, no answer. So for that, you can select any, you can just put any column that you see was fully, doesn't have any missing values. We missed this one. We need to delete this column. Yeah, so this first column has all values, so I can use that one as my count. So I'll just put it here. And I need the count because I need the frequencies, right? So now I have the count, and I can use another one. You're just going to report the count, and then I need the percentage of the column total. All right, so now you can see percentage and the column total. That's for gender. So for male, I have 40%, female 55%. Those who didn't say they prefer not to tell, and missing values was this. So you can call those other combination. And this is percentage, and you can combine those as others, right? In your paper. For example, here, for gender, I have female and undifferentiated, or you can call them here other. Female, you can put what we reported here. 48 will be for female will be 111. The frequency, the percentage is 55.24%. And then the same thing. So, and then other, it's going to be the combination of this, the sum of those two, which is 4.76. So you get this, the idea. You can do the same thing for other variables like race, education. So for race and education, and just remove this guy from here and put age as well, because we, in this example, it was categorical. And then you can report for the first category of age, in this case, less than 20 or less, it was 40%. And then the second category was this, and so on. So you can use this pivot table to report your descriptive statistics. I hope this helps, and you can take it from here. And again, your descriptive statistics needs to be very eligible and or elegant and clean and clear like this. And we can go from there.